meantime, you charge up your Dragon Blade. That's probably a little bit more of a lethal direction to go in. Neptuno's down early, so Taimu starts off the fight with a dive. He does find a kill. Poco quickly in an attempt to peel, does get the one-for-one trade.
You just need Mickey to be there with Taimu when he's going to push in like that, as Dallas Fuel still making some progress here on the point. Rascal building up towards that Dragon Blade, going to get T-Mech onto Poco, so that's a big one. Now, you do have Effect, though, who falls at the hands of Fraggy. You need an Effect to stay up there. That extra damage is so big.
Rascal doesn't need to do anything else right now, Matt. Just stay alive, stay safe, use those reflexes if required. Slow and steady is going to win the race here. And the Dallas Fuel have been able to shift the Philadelphia Fusion off of this first point now, but it's time for the Dragon Blade. We know what EQO can do with these. The Transcendence, though, is out in response. No surprises there to see this Genji ult pretty much entirely nullified.
Yeah, Dallas ends up using both support ultimates there, so that's
on that high ground. Again, trying to make something happen. Just on the nano boost. Going to be going over towards EQO. It's going to be Fraggy to be the beneficiary here. Damage reduction. That's been very important. Might wrap in the high ground. He can knock these guys off the high ground here if he does go for a primal rage, so keep an eye on that one. Fraggy goes in, he does just that. High ground denied. Now the Dallas Fuel knocked down and need to fight on the point. This is not really where they want to be working around with that Soldier 76, but they don't have a choice. Fraggy takes a heck of a lot of damage going in. He takes a quick breather up on the high ground and it's back into the fray. EQO now to back it up with a Dragon Blade.
He's just looking for anybody, but Dallas doing a nice job avoiding it. Now goes up back towards that point. Snillo will take a few members out as Taimu actually popped that Primal Rage. He got actually slept by Neptuno. Ended up down on that low ground for a little bit as I mentioned, a sleep dart. That'll be Mickey put to sleep again by Neptuno.
Waiting for Prince Charming. Clearly was never coming.
Trying to just body block him off the map as soon as he gets close.
6 final blows, 18 aliens, 1 singular death. Very good that Philadelphia can rely on him to sort of be that safe player while still having an impact in these fights, Matt.
You're going to have another tack visor here from Rascal up on that high ground, and you're going to have a pulse bomb, but it's going to be Chips who falls early, so not going to have the benefit of the Discord Orb or the Harmony Orb to heal Taimu on the point, right? Taimu has to jump all the way back, trying to get towards Custa. Taimu falls early.
He went very, very deep effective to try and get rid of Neptuno, and it worked out. Self-destruct here. Boombox obviously is completely unperturbed, but the rest of his team need to watch out. Dallas Fuel. Hello. 4 members still up in the front.
New effect, but it's going to be a Biotic Grenade from Custa, connects with 3 members from the Fuel, but it's going to be a Dragon Blade already, but it's going to be Rascal taken out there by EQO. So you lose your Zenyatta, you lose your Dragon Blade there. It's a tough one for the Fuel.
I mean, Fraggy, Matt, really early on got his hand straight into the cookie jar. He removed Chips at the start of that fight, a fight where he could theoretically have developed a Transcendence over the course of it. Completely reasonable to expect that. That would have been sick if the defenders can actually get those AoE support ultimates. That really adds to their ability to hold. And look how far forward EQO is pushing here. So just forging ahead. Just wants to make sure he might, if he can catch someone from the Dallas Fuel out a little bit too far. By Dallas Fuel for inserting a Primal Rage Winston into the backlines of the Fusion while they were trying to advance. Really caught them off kilter.
They back up here though, does Philly. Now they're going to use Primal Rage, they're going to use Sound Barrier as well. They're going to engage the point. EQO still with this Dragon Blade, so now you've gotten that Transcendence out. Now the Blade's going to come through.
Charge in, it's going to be one here, surely. Custer goes down there, EQO's looking for his next one. Fraggy's found Chips, both supports are missing for the Dallas Fuel. Timmy's trying to fight back, but again, he has to take to the sky in order to try and keep himself alive, and his self-preservation instinct was misplaced. And that's it. Almost if you blink and you'll miss it kind of stuff. Philadelphia Fusion get onto that second point. A small overextension there. Early player being picked off. But that's why he's a flex support as well.
Yeah, they can move him to Zen, they can put him on, they can do many things. EQO barely gets out with his life.
Look at him just smirking, saying, "Hey, you mere mortals thought you could take me? I don't think so." All planned, boys.
And both supports are kind of left by the point there, and it's just Poco, Snillo, and then EQO. As soon as he gets the call out, jumps right back over the wall. Snillo opens things up with 4 final blows in the first fight.
He killed 66% of Dallas Fuel in that round. Or at least he took responsibility for their elimination. Custer, in all fairness, has been playing a fair bit of Lucio recently. You know, especially in between the stage break. Chips, though, this is why you put them out on Zen. Boombox and EQO are picked off in the periphery, and now the Fuel can come forward. Snillo's probably hoping to ruin the party with a cheeky pulse pump, but you saw that flurry of orbs come out the window or the doorway just as Snillo was approaching, so it's clear to see that Dallas are expecting someone to wrap back in. Good stick! Chips is down, it's just a 1 kill though, it might take a bit more than that, but if the Fusion... Again, and it will take some time for their styles to sort of mesh and coalesce with each other, but it's good to see them on show anyway. Dragon Blade EQO sees it coming a mile off and actually manages to avoid it for the most part. Rascal gets very little done there. A lot of support ultimates being drawn out. The Transcendence from Chips. Custer uses the sound barrier, so did Neptuno. But as the smoke clears and all the overshields dissipate, as the Philadelphia Fusion who stand tall. Everyone dug in with support ultimates in that fight.
Chips was back by the point and just waited a split second too long to pop the Transcendence.
Stay up in that death ball so they can be susceptible to something like, I don't know, Matt, that's like Pulse Bomb perhaps. Transcendence in play here for Boombox, and there's time to start swinging. Still he can't join his friends up on the high ground, but that was purely just so Rascal could be removed from the fight. See, Taimu had already used Primal Rage, and it doesn't look like he got much with that one. The Fusion swooped back onto the point.
Well, Taimu did force out that Transcendence with the Primal Rage. The issue is Dallas starts to go towards the point. Philly doesn't care about it at all. They just finish the players right next to them, which is Rascal and one other, and then they work their way back towards that point. EQO still with his play and holding on to it for it seems like forever, 98% and counting, as Dallas never makes it back to the point. Taimu trying to jump over the top. It was Vicky that was trying to get there, but he gets
demexed. Isn't sort of playing Diva, right? So you have a 2-2-2, essentially. A lot of damage here available, a lot of instant elimination potential. But EQO has that hook, which is definitely going to be threatening. You can find his targets in the dark map. It's called EQO location. Let's see if you can find him.
I mean, Rascal can kind of turn into a tank, right? If Doomfist, you start landing those abilities and combos, you start building up that shield, you can get a large
Boombox
HP pool. But yeah, Boombox just going.
There's like 4 kills in that fight.
Crazy there on Moira. As you know, Moira always has like a pretty high kill contribution because of the orbs, right?
I mean, he's out there giving him the big Let's see if they can actually use this though. I think they're using it right now just for positioning to get set up on the point. Mickey's knocked off course, but he wants to go on with the Graviton fairly soon. Looking for his target, and there it is. He's going to lay it straight down, making sure Poco couldn't eat it up, and the Dallas Fuel converge around the entirety of the Philadelphia Fusion, who are drawn together. There's gravitational forces, and that will give them the team fight here in the nick of time. At the 11th hour, the Dallas Fuel hang on.
Well, the Fuel can play pretty aggressive now as yeah, it was a nice barrier that came in from Poco, able to keep him alive. Another Maywall that comes in from Rascal, trying to separate the members of the Philly Fusion. It'll be Chips using a Coalescence as well, just putting down some more damage.
That's big!
Big shatter there by Taimu, but it's going to be Snillo who takes him out, though, as he tries to go in for the follow-up.
That could have been the turnaround, but Snillo gets back up and fights too. Effect wasn't able to pick up Boombox, so the healing is still going to be there. Another attempt at the Graviton Surge and another flubbed one as the Philadelphia Fusion push in. Poco uses his. Now we're in overtime. It's just Taimu. He tries to get onto the point, really. Earth-shattered straight away. Fraggy knows. The man knows he doesn't need to save.
Now remember when the meta was, it's going to be Mickey going to self-destruct in, but when the meta was really, you know, a lot of Roadhog, you saw the kind of mind game was throwing the hooks around the barriers of Reinhardt. Now you're making it pretty easy for EQO. Doesn't have to worry about that.
Poco got chucked down there as well, going for a self-destruct. If anything else, just to get back in his mech. That Riptide was headed straight for Snillo, though. The Widowmaker now is down, but the Philadelphia Fusion still have the capacity to fight up close. I think they're going to leave it, though.
They're going to back out.
Only got 5 players. They did still have 5, but they didn't fancy getting staggered any further. Or perhaps if Rascal wanted to try and get a barrage up close, the Diva most likely would just eat it up and then charge headlock at the Pharah, getting the splash damage back on her. EQO finds Chips again. That's not good. They're missing the Zen map. Now Rascal, hoping to get a barrage here, might have to go for it anyway, just see what he can get.
Yeah, you have Effect playing Junkrat, so you were saying, you know, they like to run that Junkrat-Pharah combination. You have Effect make the change over. Don't really see him play Junkrat. Usually in stage 1 when you saw it, it was either Seagull or Taimu. And Sanillo will take out Taimu. See the barrage. And there it was. Doesn't do anything as Mickey will get demeched. No, this looks like the Philadelphia Fusion holding up.
That's it. Overtime. Glints away. And the Philadelphia Fusion put up a very impressive hold in front of the Foundry. Of that, Philadelphia 5 out of 6 of them, of course, being from that region. The region that I grew up in as well, in Overwatch at least. Snillo, he's trying for it. He saw Carpe do it on the Hanzo, the flank around to deal with the Widowmaker. It doesn't work out this time. Effects having none of it. However, Chips has traded out. They've lost to Zenyatta again. We're seeing so many Zens getting picked off today, Matt. It's been one of those days where teams have been very, very good at that dive. Custer definitely sweating as he tried to pass across the path of the hook from EQO. He and Fraggy can still work together on this one. Dallas are playing quite a far back composition with the Junkrat and the Widowmaker here, so they have to come and contest, and they've lost too many players. Custer now with the Valkyrie over the top. Rascal, in effect, are stuck in the windows. They can't do anything about the point. They lack the bodies, the boots on the ground.
and he's all the way in that back alley, and now this could be deadly for the Dallas Fuel because EQO is going to have that Dragon Blade. You just have Valkyrie, which that'll save Custo, get him up high in the sky. I was going to say, it's not going to save everybody else. Chips dies already.
You see now, the Dallas are tied, tethered to the payload, which actually affects their positioning in this fight, Matt. It's a constraint that they have to operate under. Always having to return to the payload. Mickey gets a resuit. He probably didn't intend to kill anyone with a self-destruct from that height, but he needed a full HP mech to at least have a chance of stalling this out a little bit longer. Fraggy's got Primal Rage. I don't think Dallas can even get back to the point now. No, they're way too far away. Chips. Chariots of Fire play slowly in the background as he desperately attempts to get to the payload. There was actually, honestly, no real reason to engage the fight.
No. The next fight, though, if Philadelphia wants to fight it here, they will have a Transcendence. It looks like Snillo potentially waiting here. Yep, he will get onto the payload. It'll be Valkyrie used here by the Dallas Fuel. AKM just waiting with this tac visor. Now he's going to pop it.
Yeah, he knows that the guys on the high ground are benefiting from that tactical visor, the Transcendence, should I say. A lot of ultimates being drawn for. Snillo leaves AKM a little bit of a present on the ground. Gets taken down by the Pulse Bomb, but Effect had a big impact in that fight. Finds EQO. Big Pulse Bomb prior to that. And now, the Fuel march.
It'll be Chips. Acosta using Valkyrie and Chips using Transcendence. So you have both support ults that come out for the Dallas Fuel as Neptuno uses that nano boost. Fraggy trying to put some damage down onto AKM at range.
I love me some Nano Diva, Matt. It's always fun. Poker was able to sustain through most of the damage being thrown in his direction, and now a self-destruct over on the point. Very telegraphed, very much just to get the mech back. Unfortunately for him, being the only man on the payload, that was removed from him again very quickly. There will be a reset here. The Philadelphia Fusion, some of them spawned further forward than it would have liked, and the Fuel are trying to exacerbate this. They're trying to chase him down. The Dallas Fuel have made hardly any progress outside of that second checkpoint. It's unlikely they'll get any more. Snillo lays down the Pulse Bomb. Not quite the red carpet Mickey was hoping for. Timer on the payload here. AKM's going to try and get back in. He can't even get the flash on EQO. But Timer will keep it stalled out with a Primal Rage for the time being. Philadelphia playing with their food. It's Alphabet Soup and they're spelling out, you're done.
And Fraggy's trying to knock players back from the Dallas Fuel back into their spawn. As this is going to be the hardest part for Philly to close it out, right? The spawn players are just trickling in.
This was so close to the payload.
Yeah. Neptuno will somehow get a res off there on the Fraggy, but you're going to res him just to fall back. Yes. We do have the Dallas Fuel making it back onto the payload. You know, they did build up both support ults. Boombox actually switched off the Doomfist there for a second, so resets any progress he had.
Okay, a breath here now. Nice win by Dallas to recover from that situation. They spawned very close to the payload. They knew it too. But we're in overtime now. One false move and you're done. EQO finds AKM now. I don't care about Transcendence, Snillo says. I'm going to give Custer his just desserts anyway. AKM rolls forward directly into the bullet that would take his life. And EQO is more than happy to disco dance up on the payload here. Just not a care in the world. This is real heavy stuff here. Aggressive Widowmaker play at its very best, and EQO finishes in style. Chance to use that EMP, Matt. He does get it. EQO unaffected, but again, Widow doesn't really mind too much about that.
And that EMP connects with 3 players. It'll be Neptuno using Valkyrie here, trying to keep Boombox alive. You see Timu's pushing him inside the server room, but should be the Dallas Fuel who will hold on here for the time being.
Okay, I'm going to grapple directly into a Primal Raging Winston, he says. In for sight, activated. He knows AKM. He can see the Sombra at all times. That's so important. The voice line of Widowmaker using that ability should be much more lethal to Dallas Fuel than any other team because that's Sombra. You can't be invisible.
And the res on is Snillo. He's a very difficult target to take out. It'll be Transcendence used as well. As Timu gets the effect of the nano boost, he dies on in. This may be Philadelphia just extending that fight. Maybe, you know, the Mercy res on Snillo allows them to keep this going.
You can see what kind of player Timu wants to be on this Winston. In fact, we saw recently in news by your team.
Right, I mean, I know Fisher obviously has a lot of great teamwork now with Bishu. They have a great dive with Asher and Hydration.
Fantastic support duo.
Yeah. It's just a whole full team effort going on at the Gladiators.
Not to say that's not the case for the Dallas Fuel, but everything's working for the Gladiators and not for these boys right now. Timu down again. EQO and Snillo once again hit that kill feed hard. Custer being removed from the fight. Snillo and EQO get 2 apiece. What more could you ask for from this DPS duo? This new DPS duo to the Philly Fusion.
And you can see, like, it was so funny, you know, during the preseason, everyone was talking about the Philadelphia Fusion roster, and that's an insane headshot, by the way. That is right at
That was
the
a
door.
point-blank headshot on effect by EQO. Maybe we'll get the replay of that later.
Yeah, we got to see that.
That's disgusting.
That had to be insane, as he was basically just walking through the door, but Dayfly on this roster, today. This roster is stacked.
It just never ends. EQO just making life so hard for the Dallas Fuel right now, and he's far from done, Matt. Again, once he can get these guys pushed back, he can set up on the high ground. He knows effect is off on that left side. Frankie found out the hard way, unfortunately for him. And now EQO needs to back up a little bit more. Time move fancy to challenge him out. Good idea for the Winston's low. EQO was looking for the shot, but now the self-destruct may cause problems. No one falls to it on the side of the Philadelphia Fusion, and that's it! The Dallas Fuel had players around the point, but the chaos that is created by a team like Philadelphia, relentless, never giving up,